Portugal is out. Ronaldo just played what might be his last World Cup match. Ever. And if you felt something in your chest when Spain scored that winner, you weren't crying for a football match. You were grieving something else. Let's talk about what. You've never met Ronaldo. He doesn't know you exist. He's not your friend, your family, your teammate. And yet, his loss felt personal. That's not weakness. That's not just being a fan. That's a real psychological mechanism. It's called a parasocial relationship, a one-sided bond your brain builds with someone it's watched for years, even though that person has never once watched you back. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between someone I know and someone I've watched intensely, repeatedly, for years. It just sees a familiar face, absorbs the emotional highs and lows, and quietly enrolls them into your inner circle. Ronaldo became part of your identity, not because you decided to, because your brain did. Here's where it gets deeper. Psychologists call it identity fusion. When your sense of self starts to overlap with a group, a team, or even one person, you stop saying Ronaldo lost. You start saying we lost. That single word, we, is the whole trick. Your brain doesn't have a separate emotional file for things that happened to my idol versus things that happened to me. It just files it under me. So when Spain scored, your nervous system reacted like something was taken from you, not from him. This is the same mechanism that makes national anthems make people cry, that makes strangers hug at stadiums, that makes a 19-year-old fan write, "I feel empty," after a match he had zero control over. It's not irrational. It's identity, hijacked by a football match. Now here's the part that explains why it specifically hurts more with an idol nearing the end of his career. This wasn't just a loss. For a lot of fans, this felt like an ending. Ronaldo is not young anymore. Every tournament might be his last. So your brain isn't just processing "we lost a match." It's quietly processing anticipatory grief, mourning the end of an era while it's still happening. That's why people don't just say "that's a shame." They say things like "it's the end of an era." "I grew up watching him." "I don't know football without him." That language is grief language. It's the same language people use when they lose something that shaped a big chunk of their life. A show ending, a childhood house being sold, a friendship fading out. Your brain doesn't require a personal relationship to trigger grief. It just requires time invested and identity attached. You gave both to Ronaldo without noticing. Compare this to Brazil losing to Norway, or the USA getting hammered by Belgium. Painful, sure, but different. Those losses hurt your tribal identity. The country, the badge, the us versus them. Ronaldo losing hurts your personal identity because somewhere along the way, he stopped being a player you like and became a reference point for your own life. A timestamp, a constant. When a constant disappears, the brain doesn't log it as sports news. It logs it as loss. So is this a problem? Not really. Parasocial bonds aren't a flaw in your brain. They're a byproduct of a mind built for small tribes, now operating in a world of televised strangers. The same wiring that makes you grieve Ronaldo's exit is the wiring that lets you feel connected, inspired, motivated by someone you've never met. The only trap is not recognizing it for what it is. Once you know why it hurts, you stop confusing, "this feels bad," with "something bad actually happened to me." It didn't. A man you've never met played a game and lost. But the fact that it still hurts? That's just proof your brain is very, very good at making strangers feel like family. Portugal's out. Ronaldo's era might be over, and your brain will keep doing this, attaching, absorbing, grieving people who will never know your name. That's not a bug. That's just what it means to be a fan.